Hey, what is up, guys? I am here to give you my Walking Dead review. Remember, every Tuesday I give you a Walking Dead review. I made this video earlier, but apparently, someone commented on the video that I made earlier and said that the sound had cut out, um, 6 minutes into the video. So I'm gonna do it again, and this time I'm gonna make sure that it doesn't happen. I don't know what happened, but I don't really know. But anyhow, this episode, season 2, episode 5. I didn't watch that last time, but apparently I did this time. But I bet people are gonna hate on me in the comments for messing up, like I know someone did. But anyhow, uh, well, not like before, but in a different video I made. This is episode 5 though. It's called, I don't even know how to say the name. Chupacabra. I don't really know how to say it, but it's in the title. It came out on November 13th, 2011. Like last week's came out on November 6th, 2011. Well, the last episode, not last week's, but you get the idea. It starts out with a flashback. And it shows Shane trying to get a signal on the radio because he can't get a signal because they cut out the radio. And we see Carl, Sophia, Carol, and Ed and Lori. They're laying like this big highway and a bunch of cars. They're like stuck in traffic. I guess they can't go anywhere. And Carl gets hungry, so Carol wants to go get him some food, and Ed's like, "No, you're not giving him any food. These are strangers," because I guess Lori and Carol didn't meet each other yet, and everybody else. So then she, I guess, listens because she's afraid she's gonna get abused again. And then Carl, Shane and Lori go somewhere, gets to look around, and Sophia's like, "Your dad's really nice." She's like, "Shane's not my dad. My dad's dead." Because this is a flashback, so we don't. And we know it's a flashback too because Shane had his hair. He hadn't shaved his hair yet. So then we hear some commotion go on. Lori and Shane come back and then leave again, which was weird. And they go in the woods and they see pretty much explosive. People are blowing things up. I think the people are probably just pretty much fighting the zombies. They sent the army in there. It's all happening in the city, and Lori's scared, and Shane comforts her. Then it cut to the theme song, and then it cut to the current time. Lori's just waking up, and I guess she slept in. And Carol gets the idea that she wants to cook dinner for Herschel since he's letting them stay there, and she agrees. She goes for it, and Carol wants to keep herself distracted since Sophia's gone. And then Rick, they're gonna continue. Says they're gonna continue the search for Sophia. They're gonna search for new spots this time. One of the guys, I don't remember his name, wants to go, and Rick lets him. Then Dale says it's gonna take a horse, and I'll travel that way, and he's gonna find a Chewbacca. And then yeah. I just want to make the comment now. Shane and Lori, we know Lori's pregnant, but Glenn confronts her later on about it. Says, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" And Lori's like, "Don't tell." Now we know Shane's the father, obviously, because of what happened, because they had sex in the episode 2, season 1. Now I have a question. Why didn't they use condoms? Because if you're in an apocalypse, I don't think you would want to be having a child. Because I wouldn't be, because Lori even says that she doesn't want Carl living in this world, so you would think that. And Shane, you would think, would know that, because he's the one that always is telling everyone not to do certain things. He wants to be the leader, so He's even screwed up too. I mean, Glenn and Maggie was smart enough to use one, so why wouldn't they? But you know, it's not me. It's just not me. But anyhow, Glenn actually meets Maggie and he wants to have sex with her again. And she's like, I don't know. I don't really know if I like you or not. So then, yeah, there's that. It's an odd relationship. And then Shane and Rick are looking around for the Sophia, and they're not really talking. So I guess the way that Rick could get him to talk was to talk about all the girls that he's had sex with in high school. He even talked about how he had sex with the gym teacher who was like 30 years old and married, which was weird. And then just kind of talk about back and forth about sex. It was actually entertaining, funny, but and then it gets bad. Shane's like, I don't think we should continue looking for Sophia. You're holding the group back. We could be all the way in forget what he says where they were going. I remembered earlier, but I think he's Fort Bennett. And Shane's like, I don't want to let Sophia down. I told her I'd come back for her, and now she's gone. And Shane's like, we don't even know if she could be dead. And Rick's like, you don't think she could be dead? And Rick's like, he thinks pretty much that he's holding the group back. He's getting everybody killed. He thinks that if he wasn't searching, Carl would not have gotten shot. So then afterwards, they're not happy with each other after this. Later on, when they go back to camp, Rick gives like this pissed look at Shane, and he tells he tells Lori about this, and Lori about everything, and talks about how there's a formula for survival. And Lori says you're making the best decisions you can. I guess Rick's the leader too, which is kind of strange. And Herschel isn't happy because he knows there's a horse missing, and that there's that one of his guys went without asking him. So he says that he has to ask him more about his stuff, and he says you keep, and Rick says we'll do that. And Rick Herschel's like, well, you keep a track of your guys, I'll keep a track of my guys. And now I'm going to get to this part. In the woods, Dale finds Sophia's doll, which is awesome. Well, which is cool, which is good. It's a good sign that they're going to find her soon. And then he continues to look for Sophia. And then the horse that he was riding sees a snake. He gets freaked out. So then the horse knocks him off, and he falls down a hill. And he had his crossbow on him. So one of the arrows, well, this crossbow shooter. So one of the arrows that went through him, and his head's bleeding from the fall, I guess. So he's all beat up. And then he gets his crossbow shooter, uses a stick to get it. And he tries to climb back up the hill, and he can't do it. And then when he falls again, and he gets knocked out again. And then he sees, like, I guess he has an illusion probably because he's lost probably so much blood, and he's just knocked out too. So he sees his brother Merle, and he talks about how he's gone soft. Now you're just looking around for this little girl, but you didn't look around for me when I got handcuffed to the roof. And he talks about how Rick's and stuff's his friend, and he's like, well, Rick's the one that handcuffed me to the roof and caused me to cut my own hand off. And he says that he cares about him, he raised him better than this. And then Merle says you have to get up or I'm going to kick you up. So then he starts kicking him, and then Dale gets back into reality, the real world, and he sees that a zombie was trying to bite him. So then he pretty much speeds it up and kills it, and then like another zombie comes and he hits it with a stick, and then he uses his crossbow shooter to kill the final zombie. and then he starts climbing up the hill, and Miller's pretty much, he can't do it, so Miller's pretty much telling him that he's weak. I raised my brother better than this. So then he finally gets up the hill, and and then just kind of, I guess, goes back to camp. And then Hirsch back at the, well, not back to camp, but back to the farm. Back at the farm, Herschel sees that Rick's, I guess, group is making dinner, and he's like, I don't like the fact that they're making dinner. That's gonna make them feel like they're too comfortable here. And then they talk about how she likes Glenn. She actually ends up calling him the Asian kid. And he says, don't get too comfortable with him because they're not gonna stay here forever. And then Glenn later on is in with Dale, and he's like, what's going on with all the women around here? Because he talks about how all the women are acting strange. How he asked if Andrea's on a period, because this was a weird episode. He was like, because she wanted to protect Cam instead of do laundry. Talks about how Lori's acting strange. And he's like, what's going on with Lori? He's like, nothing. Because he's not supposed to say anything that she's pregnant, because I guess she wants it to be a secret. That secret's going to get out really, really soon, because eventually, when you're pregnant, you usually get fat. So, yeah, she better tell that secret before that happens. Because, you can't make an excuse that you were eating a lot because it's the world that they're living in isn't that kind of world. So yeah, you better say something about it soon. But then he talks about Maggie. Says 1 minute she hated him, the next minute she wanted to have sex with him, and then Dale's like, you had sex with her. Does Herschel know about this? He's like, he doesn't know, and Dale's like, we have to keep it that way because he's our host. He's letting us stay here, and he agrees to do that. And then they kind of walk off, and then Andrea sees like a walker, and she wants to shoot it, but Rick's like, no, don't shoot it. And then Rick, well, Shane wants to go after it, but Rick's like, no, let Herschel go after it. He said he wanted to go after it, and Rick's like, no big deal. And Rick goes after it with an axe. T-Dog goes after it with the bat, and Shane goes after it with the axe. T-Dog goes after it with the baseball bat, and Shane goes after it with the pistol. And then we find out that it wasn't a zombie. It was just Dale. And I guess I thought at first he was a zombie because he was walking kind of like he was a zombie. But no, it was just because I guess he was so beat up. So then he dared Rick to shoot him, and then Andrea, whatever her name is. I say that every video, but to be honest with you, I know it's that one of those two names, but I don't know which one it is. But anyhow, she ends up shooting him, and then then Daryl gets cheated on, and Herschel's like, how have you guys survived this long? And then that was actually a funny scene. I laughed at that. Because how have they? I mean, they pretty much lost everyone. They lost Jim, they've lost Amy, and it's all, and kind of all Rick's fault. It seems like that if they listened to Shane, they would actually be in good hands. But they didn't listen to him. And then but anyhow, then Rick and Shane get into another, I guess, argument again. They have now they'll tease tension between them, which is a good thing, because I was pretty pissed that they weren't, because I think it's time you do that. But now it's bad that they're doing it, because this is a long time to do it, because now that Lori's pregnant. If he's pissed at him now, imagine how pissed he's gonna be at Shane and Lori. He's gonna be pissed at Lori. I never thought about it that way. I always said that Shane's gonna get killed, but I'm not saying he'll kill Lori, but he's not gonna be too happy with Lori that she was in a relationship while he was gone. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Shane's like, look, this is why we need to call off the church. Look what happened. He died to get that doll when it wasn't worth it. And then Rick's like, he got the evidence for us. So then Shane's like, you need to call, tells Laurie, I'm right. And Laurie's like, I may not agree with Rick's decisions, but I respect him. And Shane says, I don't care. I want to do anything it takes to keep you and Carl safe. And he's like, so you'll let her, she goes, so you'll let her go down to then. And then she says that me and him aren't your problem anymore. And then they have dinner. It was kind of like an awkward kind of dinner moment because no one was really talking. Until Glenn's like, anyone ever play guitar? Or because I know how to play the guitar. And then Patricia said, what I'm assuming it was like, Laurie, no, Otis knew how to play the guitar. And then Hurst was like, and Otis was very good. So then it got awkward again. And under the table, Maggie writes Glenn a note saying, where tonight? Because I guess because he had offered to have sex with her again. And he writes something back, but we don't see what it is until a few minutes later, and we find out that it was that it said ever had sex in a haystack, and they had to go into the barn to get it. But the thing is they were forbidden from the barn. So when Glenn goes in there, he sees that there's a bunch of walkers in there. So then he's like, oh crap, and then he runs out, and Maggie comes in and says, you weren't supposed to see this. I have a lot of questions, but I'm probably going to get the answers next week. The first question is, how did he get them in there? Why did they put them in there? This is actually, though, I'll admit, a good idea, because I guess the less zombies you have, maybe if you can get them all in one spot, you can kill them all at once. But the only problem is how you going to get them all in one spot. But the next episode, Glenn's gonna tell everyone probably, and everyone's gonna be pissed at Herschel and stuff, and they'll explain why they're doing this, and maybe they'll explain my strategy. I would at least try the strategy, but we'll see what happens. I bet that's why that one zombie was in the well too, because one got, I guess maybe like one got out, and then he fell inside the well. So now we're gonna find, because I thought it was odd they were just in the well, but I guess and it's not like that the zombies can get out. It has a lock on it, so we'll see what happens though. But as for the episode, I really like this episode. I thought it was better than the last one, but not the best one I've seen. I'm gonna do the same thing I'm gonna do with the SpongeBob reviews. After I watch all the episodes up to date, I'm gonna rewatch them again and make a list of all my favorites. But this was a good episode. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this video, you can hear me the whole way, but I'm gonna check to make sure before I upload it. Hopefully this is the second time's the charm, I guess.